You.
You don't want to get busted for anything. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to find you. Let me tag. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so let me tag you. All right. This is going to be good. That's what I love doing this. Okay, you want to do. Oh, there you are. Karen Mayne, Soul Alchemist. I tagged you on that.
uh, that's me.
Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. All right. Let me get situated here. Yeah. Everybody starts emailing you and messaging you right when you get on. All
Okay.
right. All right. Today is Friday, August the 29th here in the Northern Hemisphere. We are connected from Mexico to the UK. We've got a new friend in the house, Karen Mayne, Mayne, Soul Alchemist. And
Um,
she reached out to me a few days ago. And by the way, anybody that wants to come on, please reach out to me because we're doing 3 a day.
mm,
My soul's telling me get on this horse and start driving it, 15 or 20 shows a
mm,
week. So that's what we need to do, and we're going to do it. So thank you for coming in and sharing sacred space with us and
yeah.
honoring us with your presence. We're excited to get to know you, and yeah, well,
Mm.
welcome, welcome,
Ah, welcome. Hello, and thank you.
welcome to the front line of the ascension.
Ah,
So, when did you wake up?
oh, what a question. Okay. For me, when people ask that, I always think it wasn't one day, right?
Right, right.
It's never a case of just you wake up and you wake up. For me, mine's been a ebb and flow of so many layers and recoding and learnings. And if I could, I can't put a set date on it, but when I look back, all I do know is that within my life of this time round on earth, that I have known whether I've been conscious or not of it, to whether I just never fitted in to what people would, a lot of people call it 3D, day-to-day living. I've just never found my space until I went and found my soul, and then found, okay, this is what I'm here for. This is why I'm here. This is what Earth is about. And things now are making more sense than they ever have. But when I look back and see my stories that woke me up, the things that happened to me, the stages I went through, the storytelling, now I know, okay, pennies dropped, all makes sense. So
Yeah,
for me, it's just been a really flow of constant evolving and changing and understanding
yeah,
and
yeah.
realizing how much I don't know and still have to go through yet.
Well, that's the key, isn't it? Humility and the more you know, the less you know, like Socrates said. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, and I think, yeah, we've got I was saying, oh, September's going to be huge. We got 3 999 days and we got two
Yes.
eclipses and but every day is carrying these energies now. So,
Yes.
every day is an awakening, really. I
Yeah.
mean, I might have had three yesterday.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
seriously, because every activation's an awakening. Every
Yeah.
trigger becomes an
Absolutely.
awakening.
Absolutely. And I'm someone that I've realized that I have to live within every moment just as it is.
Yes, yes.
My brain doesn't hold a lot of, let's just say, used to be an issue for me, but I've
Mm.
come to terms with it and now understand why I function like this. But my brain doesn't hold a lot of dates, memories, times, days,
Thank you.
information.
Mm,
And what I now know, it used to be a problem. I used to call myself stupid. I used to call myself
mm.
thick. I used to be like, I don't fit in. Everyone else holds logs information. Now I know it's because I'm meant to live in my flow and be present. in every single moment. I even bumped into someone earlier and they were talking to me and I actually went, what day is it today? They were
Uh,
like, it's Friday. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, because sometimes I just have to check in and be like, where am I at? What's going on? But yes, that it's, yeah, an understanding who you are on this journey. And yeah, and that came round to why, why I call myself the soul alchemist, because for me, working and understanding each of our individual souls is just such a powerful place.
mm,
And I believe everybody is a soul alchemist. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And don't feel like the Lone Ranger because
Yeah.
there was a time in my life up until, I don't know, 3 years ago. I don't know. But I could,
Mm.
like a mathematical savant, like a genius, like I could just spit out multiples and
Yeah.
I mean, everything was just like, and I just had this thought an hour before we came on the show. And I was trying to figure out, it was three times, this is embarrassing. It was three times 19 or four times 19. Now,
Mm.
normally I could, like it'd be like one plus one is two, right? And
Yeah.
I looked at the 19 and the four, the nine and the four, and I thought, and that's 36. I can think of it right now, but I was going, what does that equal? And
Mm-hmm.
so it was the same thought. So
Mm-hmm.
there is something to be said for that left brain
Yes.
being de-emphasized as we merge, the two hemispheres or the two our
Yeah.
polarities or masculine, feminine, or whatever two we want to use. They're all the same damn thing anyway, right? But
Yeah.
especially when they meet in the middle.
Opposites. All the
You know.
opposites. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Now
Yeah.
you said that part of where you're at, which we can
Yeah.
all really appreciate in this community, uh, that to know who you are, to know
Mm.
why you're here, and to
Mm-hmm.
know what Earth is. Can you elaborate on that?
Okay. So I, like all of us, we've been through our stories that have created us to the moment as we stand today. And with each story, we learn something about ourselves. And I always felt like I was what people call the black sheep. I don't like labels at all, but I'm going to use the terminologies that people may know or familiar with. And I've always been the black sheep, not fitted in. This led me to self-destruct behaviors. This led me to self-harm in many ways. This led me to feeling out of place, never fitting in, thinking I'm crazy because of things I'd receive. So, as I've gone through all of these stages, okay, to understand now and be able to sit within your power and actually be, I know that I needed to go through, I needed to have the parents that I had, I needed to have the lifestyle that I had, I needed to have the near-death experience, all of it to create and understand. Now, as I stand here on earth to help people alchemize their healing or wherever
Hmm.
they need to go within themselves of those spaces, I am an advocate. I love shadow work. I don't like my shadow work sometimes, I must admit. But I do when I come out the other side and the penny drops. Ah, oh, thank you for the ego death. Thank you for what I needed to witness there. Thank you for the medicine. And this is every time I do a piece of work. Now I understand it's not a hinder, it's actually a gift to be able to witness it and understand that only by doing mine will I be able to shine, show, sit next to, be in ceremony with other people as they do theirs. And that's where I feel that, especially with the energies at the moment on Earth, that we are really looking for that deeper connection of truth. And that only comes when you shift away the stuff that is not true.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's version of that will be different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
And
that's how I feel with it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and so, like, 4,000 episodes of this show, and I'm going to tell you that that is the common, uh, you know, outline
Mm.
of the
Mm.
vast majority of the people that
Yeah.
sat with and shared space with us. That
Yes.
I was a black sheep. I never fit in.
Yes.
I tried to fit in. I
Yeah.
changed myself to try to fit in.
Yes.
I call this a narcissistic realm. And
Mm-hmm.
I say that with the highest reverence because the you, me, we, and it created it. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
if you, it's an irrational realm,
Mm-hmm.
or at least the software was irrational. And before it before it started to transform, as people like you started to plug in themselves,
Yes.
and so you try to speak rationally to an irrational energy, and it doesn't work. So then you start to speak irrationally because you figure that they might understand that language, and
Yeah.
then everything happens. But yeah, what you're describing is very much what the people that we've shared space with have talked about. And then
Love it.
also, but also now something is radically different. Like my soul told me, and I keep repeating this because it keeps telling me to repeat it, but the December 21st, 2012 Mayan calendar date, and then go 12 years from there to last winter solstice. And that we achieved what we came to accomplish during that 12-year period, during the distortion, and with less awareness and understanding and much resistance. And now we've come out on the other side. And for me, and what I observed, and within myself, it took about 5 months to figure out, because you kept, people would come on the show in the first part of the year and they'd be like, something's going on, but I can't tell you what it is, but something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then May, June, July, the summer, people are starting to put things together, and it's
Yeah.
moving very rapidly. Now, you're living in a house on wheels, which is so cool. We've got
Yes.
quite a few friends that do that. I'm sure you're in touch with nature, the universal,
Oh,
and also
yeah.
with the work that you're doing. What are you
Mm.
seeing this summer? Are you
Mm.
seeing a burn of purification like I am, like somebody turned the heat up? Um,
Oh, yeah.
what's happening over
Absolutely.
there?
Oh, yes. Mother, yeah, I've as many. I just nature is my home. I'm back
Mm,
to the purest form as I can be. And that's why I made the decision to move around and be on wheels. And people say follow their nose, but I follow my feet. And
mhm,
to have that, to have that, where do I go today? What do I need? Who am I? What do I, where do I need to go and receive? And just drop into these spaces. And what I'm aware of is that Mother Earth is, she is, she's calling. She is calling. I want to say screaming, but it's not. It's more, it's flowing. She's calling, and more people are hearing and receiving and understanding and going to her, going connecting to her. Um, it's all connected, isn't it? The cosmos to the earth. But
mm,
I feel like we're becoming more and more grounded within ourselves and Mother Gaia. And here in England, obviously, I have took a few journeys to Glastonbury, and there the energy is just what is coming through for different people.
yeah,
Is just unreal, unreal. Some
yeah,
people aren't able to hold it. Some people it's kicking off, and some it's very powerful
yeah,
over here. Yeah, very
yeah. I
powerful.
don't doubt that a bit. In
Mm.
fact,
Yeah.
many of these sacred sites. I mean, I'm in Mexico, and I'm not near a sacred site that's well known, but yeah, it's been deliverer of code or information or light has been nature. I
Yeah.
sit at the bay every day for a couple of hours, and nothing has to be said. I don't listen to music. It's all right there.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
And and what you were
Mm,
saying too about the let's just say the energetic climate of the summer, that
mm,
it's one thing I have noticed through people's verbalization of what's happening to them and through their expressions and also through their silence.
yeah.
Okay. This is affecting everybody. Like, this is
Yes.
not, you could be on the path for 25 years or
Yeah.
2.5 years,
Yes.
and our clocks are being cleaned, and there's a tremendous amount of humble pie being served. And it feels like, I don't know how you feel about this, but does it feel like to you, and I know we've said this in the past, but that we're being prepared for
Mm,
the big show here? I mean, like, it's imminent. It's upon us. Nine is the next month. That's a number of completion. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? This is a
feel
nine
like
year,
something big is going to happen. Something
bigger than
big is coming.
bigger than big. And I'm not talking solar flash, and I'm not talking any
Yeah.
of that stuff that was predicted and never came true. I'm not talking 3 days of darkness. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm not throwing shade on it. I'm just saying that the writing's on the wall. Like the infrastructure of the illusionary reality is crumbling. And it's
Mm,
like a giant snowball going down a mountain. No one's going to stop it. Not you, not me, not the bad guys, not the good guys. This is going down, like,
mm,
fast, like really fast.
hmm.
What are your thoughts?
I feel that no one's getting away with anything.
That's what
I
I'm
feel if
saying.
if there's something to be witnessed,
Yeah.
then people are having to witness it.
Yeah.
And this is, I mentioned, shadow work and this is the alchemy, isn't it? It's that doing that work. And realizing as you say, as you realize you connect more with nature, you realize where the illusions are, and it's like, okay, that's not a space for me anymore. And I'm very aware at the moment that for me there's been a lot of um anger around with people,
Yeah.
and I feel that the anger um is from lack of unknown or uncertainty, the fear
Yeah.
that's within. They're kind of a little bit nervous because they might not be conscious to it, but obviously they're waking, that it's happening.
Yeah.
Like you say, no one's getting away with it. So they're
Yeah.
feeling it, but they don't get it. And I feel this is why it's so important to keep going around, showing your light, spreading, because that's where people you seed, don't you? As you go around, as you and you're just seeding, people will receive the
Yeah.
medicine both ways. And that is so important at the moment to help the people that may be a little bit confused in what's going on.
Yeah.
Because there are still a lot of people very unaware.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the flame is fleshing out well,
Mm.
we're cleaning the clocks out. I mean, and
Yes.
what you said about the anger thing. I share
Mm.
a lot of posts every day in the groups, and
Yeah.
so I'm able to see a lot of the energy out there as I'm gathering memes and stuff. And so I did notice that this summer. I'm like, whoa, this is interesting. Like, you've seen it before. There's been
Yeah.
spikes of it before when there were certain energies coming in, but this is like, light worker starseed circles, and they're looking like every other circle.
Yeah.
The opinions, the prejudices, the biases, the I have to be right, you're wrong, and
Yeah. Yeah.
what I see is
Yeah.
what you're describing, and I've experienced it quite a bit, and that
Mm.
is
Yeah.
the projection. Like, so in the past, let's say before this year, before that
Hmm.
solstice, if
Yes.
there was within the field a support system, a codependent support system, a template that would sustain projection. In other words, I can project on you so I don't have to look at myself, and
Yes.
the atmosphere will support that, so I remain unconscious, or I'm allowed to continue to ignore it. But
Yeah.
this year, it's not like that. Like, this year, you got projection, and you fire the first shot out, and you kind of go, oh, yeah, yeah, that'll show you. And then the universe is going, hey, no, that's not working anymore. And then you shoot
Yeah.
another one out, and you get kind of
Yeah.
punched and then you get shoved and so people are having to look at their own shit, and that's the
Yes,
truth. And that's
absolutely.
the part where I feel like I really resonate with you in that nobody gets out alive.
No,
Everyone's
no,
going to deal with this, or maybe you transition and do it in the next incarnation or
yeah,
on the other side or something. But if
yeah,
you're going to hang here on Earth for this transition, you're going to have to handle your shift. You're going to have to
yes,
handle, you know, is that,
yeah.
you know,
Absolutely, absolutely. And I feel this year has been very physical as well for a
mm,
lot of people,
oh,
very physical. And
absolutely,
yeah,
100%. Yeah,
yeah, very
100%.
physical, realizing obviously how do I hold this light that's coming through? How do I weave with this? How do I manage? And for people that don't know my work, I do a lot of movement. I always have. Movement has always been embodying has always been a medicine of mine that
Mm,
I have worked with, because before I worked, let's just say more feminine, I worked a little bit more in the warrior masculine with martial arts. So I've had that embodiment has always been a comfortable place, let's say, for my body to hold these emotions, hold the light, whatever comes through. Either way, because obviously there's a lot coming up at the moment as well.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah, so it's quite so movement. This is why I'm a lot of the work I do is the I call it the divine temple, and I call it the mind, the body, the soul, and obviously the spirit. So I don't believe you can fix one without having to obviously fix all of them. And by
mm-mm.
fix I mean acknowledge, see, deal
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
because
Well, it's like
technically
it's
none
like
of us.
the Trinity energy. I mean, you know,
Absolutely.
you're
Yeah.
serving in equal degree to each point of that triad, and
Yes.
that's so yeah. I mean, absolutely. And then the thing
Yeah.
you said about the body, I noticed this on the show because I can kind of see like the evolution of the collective as I do these show after show after show, and
Yeah.
because people are picking up on the same thing, and it was probably about a year and a half ago uh, people started talking about the body.
Hmm.
Things were happening in the body. Things, and
Yes.
certainly since then, people are having physical situations that happen that come up. Things that have been blockages or whatever within their bodies,
Hmm.
and that the body itself becoming a prominent voice, if not the prominent voice, in our personal soul monad, in our personal soul,
Absolutely.
right? And
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing. And
Yeah.
also to me leads to uh, completion because we've done all the layers out there.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. I don't know if you've run into this. I don't know how big your circle is. I'm sure you interact with a lot of people, but
Yeah.
the people talk about spiritual like spiritual superiority or spiritual bypassing, uh,
Yes.
that
Hmm.
type of thing.
Yeah.
And what I noticed, this started about 2 years ago, and it's really turned up the heat this year, is that just as we came to terms with our traumas and we let them go so we wouldn't be living in the past, I'm
Hmm.
noticing that a lot of the like the streams that came from our outer multidimensionality, you might say, the ethers or non-physical,
Yeah.
um, they're being put in the same category. We're having to leave those behind too. Those are requiring ego deaths now, kind of thing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
To where we're just here. We're the composite of it all in the
Hmm.
physical. As crazy as that sounds, and
Yes.
and this is what we're supposed to do, like you said. Just if you're out of whack,
Yeah.
go outside, stand on the ground. Yeah.
Embody however called to. I believe this is why it's so important to live in your moment of your flow. And people will say, oh, but I haven't got time for that. Okay, well, you need to create it. You're the creator. So
Mm,
create, listen to your storytelling, listen to the words that that you're speaking, and do they sit true with where you want to be within your life? And I just feel that sometimes I will wake up and I will be like, my body needs this today, which means my
Yeah.
soul needs that.
Yes.
So I will lift weights, I will move with breath work, I will dance and shake out my anger. I will, use my voice and scream. I will sit with my womb space. So all of it, like all of it goes on. And you have to, I feel like we've got to a space where we have to just listen in these moments, every single moment, and just see where we are and just give
Yeah.
ourselves permission to be that version of us,
Yeah.
because that's when we fully surrender into who we truly are
Yeah.
and our purpose, as people call it.
Yeah.
And
But
it's very
you can't,
important.
I mean, it's like how do you say this? You know, that Zen proverb, let go or be dragged, comes to
Hmm.
mind. I like that
Hmm.
one. And, but
Mm.
the thing is like, the letting go thing, like
Yes.
like, you know what? Like you mentioned anger, it happens.
Hmm.
It's not like, self-judgment's a big thing too, right? So,
Yes.
oh, I'm a light worker. I'm not supposed to get angry. Bullshit. You can get angry,
No.
but
Yeah, angry.
it's what you
Yeah.
do with it. Like, are you going to
Yes.
throw that energy at someone,
You're going to
with your
project it
thoughts?
out or own
That's
it.
what I mean. Are you going to
Yeah.
just feel it and
Uh-huh.
gain the value of it, right? But it's
Hmm.
letting go of, and I've been saying this for 3 or 4 months, not because I'm smart, because I can see the writing on the wall. And
Yeah.
actually, since about late 2023, I'm not saying I've mastered it at all. I'm just saying that,
Mm.
let that shit go, homie.
Mm.
The things that we've been talking about and concerning ourselves with, we're not even going to be thinking about. So
Yeah.
if we're not going to be thinking about it, we can all start letting it go now. I look at it
Yeah.
this way. Everybody here is a valiant soul. We exercise our free will to come here. That
Yes.
was our choice. And so, as what's his name, Hunter Thompson said, buy the ticket, take the ride, right?
Mm.
You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
But, and so we're here, and now we've become aware, and now what do we
Yeah.
do with it? What are we going to do with this? Well, I mean, like everything else in the universe, nothing's given to you. If there's going to be a
Mm.
heaven on earth or nirvana or a paradise worldwide or whatever that is, it's going to come from us. It
Yeah.
comes from us, it
Yeah.
really does. And
Yes.
I feel like that this is it's game time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm
I'm
very excited.
excited because
I'm
I
really,
just think, yeah, I'm ready. I've been ready for a long time. So it's kind of like, yes, now people are more trying to speak, they're speaking a language I understand. So
right.
this is just it's beautiful. Um and where the spaces that I feel that we have tried to fit into, so to speak, over the years,
Uh-huh.
we're now owning it.
Yeah.
We're now owning those spaces, and then people, they're coming, and it's obviously it's always an exchange of medicine for each other. And I really feel that's what Mother Earth is calling at the moment.
Well, even
It's
even okay, so that's a great point. Uh,
Yeah.
even owning the fact that, in other words, oh, well, the world was irrational, narcissistic, and I changed and lost myself, and it was their fault, and so you come full circle. Oh no, that was my decision. That's my
Yes.
responsibility, but not
Yes.
just for that. It's
Hmm.
for every sex trafficking crime. It's for every war. It's for every shadow.
Yeah.
We are literally the children of Mother Earth. We're the extension of
Yes.
Mother Earth. This is our responsibility. We can't put this off on anybody. You can't divorce yourself from any aspect of the universe. So
No.
now Mother Earth in the universal family is saying, walk the talk or shut
Yeah.
the F up, okay? And let
Yes.
somebody else jump in there and do it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you'll be a good a representative because you lift weights and take martial arts. I'm not messing with you.
Ah, thank you. I take that as a compliment.
I love humor. Humor is like to me the highest
Yeah.
form of wisdom. I have this new
It's
sequence
yeah.
sequence that, how you get the information and then
Hmm.
then you process it, then you integrate it, and then you can come back out and play. Now that doesn't take very
Beautiful.
long anymore, but I
Mm,
call it the stupid to substance. So
yeah.
I have the epiphany and I'll go, oh my God, you were stupid. You know, like you were talking about, like, we have to take ownership for the fact that we plugged into those things, right?
Yes,
And then,
yes.
I laugh about it
Yeah.
because the gold arrives with it now. It didn't used to work like that. Remember?
Absolutely, absolutely. And ownership is the biggest thing you can do. I spent so many years blaming everybody else
Mm,
for the way my life kept being created.
mm,
And then until I actually went, hang on, you're in spaces that you don't really want to be in.
right,
You keep doing things you don't want to be doing.
right.
You're harming, you're self-harming in so many ways. And until you take these ownerships and give yourself permission to, I do a lot of journaling as well. And
That's good.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of journaling even now, just to get the medicine out, and to look back and see, how far you've come. If you ever need to go back and check. So it's kind of a reminder for the soul of where you're at, to, where you've been to who you are today. But I really wish people, I always think if I could say one thing, to people, kind of where would I navigate? And I really wish that people could understand how powerful they are as an
Yeah,
individual,
yeah.
how
That,
powerful
yeah.
each of us are as an individual. And I actually held space last night. Can you see me? Because I'm aware it's getting dark here in the
No, no, we
UK.
can see you fine. You're looking great. Don't
Oh,
worry
that's
about it.
good.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
good.
Thank
You're
you. I'm
good.
trying to chase the light in the
No,
van.
no, you're good. You're fine. You're
Okay,
fine.
it's 8:30 in the UK, so in the evening. Um, yeah, last night I held a soul union space, and we come together as a little community, and we heal together as a community with our wisdom sharing with each other. And last night I was telling them a story of one of these penny drop moments that happens from when I wasn't awake, but they were trying to tell me something. And I was doing the power of the body when it's trying to talk to you. So I was doing is this okay to share this story?
Absolutely.
Ah,
The
thank
floor
you.
is yours. Share whatever you want to share.
Thank you. And basically, I was learning at the time to do counseling courses, so become a counselor therapist. And this is quite a few years ago, a couple of decades ago. And basically, we were sat in a circle and we had to paint our life on in one painting. Of course, the black paint comes out and I'm just drawing these black images of it. And basically we then had to go round the circle and explain our painting to the group. My voice chakra was not as flowing as it is now, from the heart. So basically, I felt as it was coming round to my turn, the heart just going, and I could feel the body reacting, and it was so powerful. And as I was sat, as it got to my turn, and they were like, "Okay, Karen, explain your painting." I just had a nosebleed. My nose just flooded because I couldn't talk through my throat chakra. By then we still had the Atlantean collar on. So it was kind of like I couldn't talk from the heart. So my body was like, we're going to release it in another way then. This needs to go. This painting of darkness of what you've been through needs to shift. So it just flooded it out. And I remember running out of the classroom, embarrassed, humiliated. And then the counseling teacher coming to me afterwards and was like, "Karen, that was powerful." He's like, "You need, do you want to talk about it?" And I'm like, "No, no, I'm fine, I'm fine." And I just sort of like, "I'm fine." And that was it. And now I look back and go, "Oh, okay. My body's been screaming at me for quite a while to shift, things that were deep inside." And this is why movement through the body of release work is a big passion of mine, as well as
Hmm.
sitting still and witnessing, but actually allowing it to have space, because if you don't, it will find a way of showing itself, whether
Mm.
that's in behaviors, whether that's in illnesses and diseases, all, all different ways. I
Very
believe
true.
that everything means something. Obviously, we're a constellation. So if our constellation is off in a set way, it's talking to you.
Yeah.
I have many people that are like, my shoulder hurts, this hurts, and I'm like, okay, I have to navigate the individual of where I can go, how far I can go with it. Um, but yeah, just seeding the information of this could mean this could be this could be connected to this trauma, or do you suffer with this? When we can sit and understand that our body is our tool, our
Hmm.
main tool, I absolutely believe of working with crystals, working with rattle. I work with many with certain tools for the healing I do, but they're only ever an extension of who you are, right?
Hmm.
So if you are not the hollow bone or the clear vessel or the constellation, in rhythm or in flow, then everything else is out of sync.
Exactly.
And that's why I believe this temple, as I see it, the mind, body, soul temple, needs to be as in alignment as it can.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you only get that when you live in your moments of flow,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
believe. That's my story.
no,
Yeah.
no. I think this is what's happening.
Yes.
Like you said earlier,
Very
you started
powerful.
with, you said, you love, if you can get one thing across to people, it's to understand how powerful you are. I think that's what's happening. We are
Yes. Yes.
learning how powerful we are. Like it's
Yes.
beginning to come online. And then
Mm,
I love what you say about, the healing and the self-healing and the healing as a practitioner,
yeah.
is that, yeah, there's many tools there, but something is happening in our internal universe where
Yes.
every answer is there, right? Like,
Yeah. The soul retrievals.
yeah,
Yeah.
well,
It's all
even
happening.
just
It's all
like,
coming back.
even just like, it was about 2 months ago, I saw a video when I was online working, and it was a, I don't know if it was an exercise or if they were just telling what they did. But anyway, for some reason, and I knew this, but I never applied
Mm,
it. And they said, there are so many trillion or billion cells in your body.
yes.
And immediately I can, because I can see my cells, right? And then
Yes.
they were talking about how each one of them was the same, like
Hmm.
each, just like us, right? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and that this is your universe. Now,
Yeah.
I've used the word YOU, hyphen verse, right? Universe in my writings and stuff over the years, but I never really thought about it. I thought, wait a minute. So I'm God, so to speak.
Uh,
I'm the source. I can
yeah.
speak to all of my cells.
Yes.
And I started to do that. And I'm still doing it. And like
Hmm.
I had a fall in March, and I took a pretty good fall,
Yeah.
and it took me a while to recover. And but as I got into like the summer, let's say 3 or 4 months into it, I stopped treating it was the right side of my body, and I stopped treating it through conventional methods because I do lift light weights and I stretch, right?
Yeah.
And so I was
Beautiful.
noticing like a pop, like a pop. And then so
Hmm.
I started some movement, and my body would say, no, don't go there yet. Bring it back
Yes.
in, work it like
Beautiful.
this for a while. And
Hmm.
once that works out, now I can't see it and I can't prove it, but my progress can,
Yes.
like, so that's what I'm saying. The stuff that's coming online, I
Yeah.
don't think anybody even has, I don't think any of us can comprehend this power that you speak of and that others have spoken of. But let's all remember too that this school, this university, this playground, whatever you want to call it, was
Yeah.
designed to keep us, or at least this leg of the journey was, the last 10, 12,000 years, whatever, was designed to keep us from discovering our power,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So,
Yes.
so, here we are, the dog chasing its tail the whole time, and we bite the
Yeah.
tail and figure out it's us. And then, the prize is in the treasure chest opens, and we have all these skills and abilities. I've had three experiences that I did not will, okay, in the last week to 10 days,
Okay.
where I bilocated,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't ask for it. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
try to make it happen, but it
Yes.
happened. It happened in the sequential synchronicity of my day or my life. Like,
Yes.
one of them was, I had a show with a lady, and I've known her for quite some time, beautiful sister, and it
Yeah.
was powerful. And I get off the show, and boom, right? And then about an hour later, she sends me a note. She goes, "You were standing here in my kitchen." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." So
Yeah.
something's going on here,
Yes.
something that's way bigger than the conventional, typical norms, the conventional
Yeah.
wisdom, the typical norms of, and I think that's a really important part too, is to, we shed all these traumas and labels and this and that, but it's belief systems. If
Yes.
I believe we could be having a cuppa in 5 minutes outside under a tree, it's
Mm-hmm.
entirely possible. I
Yes.
believe, I tell myself every day, I'm going to live several hundred years, 800 years. I,
Yeah.
I, I may be wrong. I may be stupid, but you know what? I believe it, and I'm going to keep
Yeah.
going with it. I feel like that the imagination uh, is the key.
Yeah.
The thoughts are the key. The thoughts that
Yes.
that we were prisoner to, the
Yeah.
thoughts that we created as
Yeah.
things were presented to us that were
Mm-hmm.
distorted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, uh,
Yeah.
so why not the other way?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, and I basically like many recognize that the body is, as I said, like a star constellation, like a map. It's a
Mm,
map.
mm,
So whatever has been created over the years, okay, whether that's environment that's caused it, whether it's lifestyle decisions, soul contracts, trauma bonds, everything that is part of what has created that version of you.
yeah.
I believe now we're having no choice but to recode this map.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is coming out physically. That's why believe this year has been a very physical one, because people it's I don't believe in that fake it till you make it. 'Cause I actually don't.
Oh,
I do.
that's
Yeah,
total
I do.
bullshit, man.
Yeah, I believe that's masking.
That's like false
Um,
propaganda.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I actually believe in authenticity. So I actually believe that when you take away the masks, or when you take away the layers, or witness them, because you don't necessarily have to take them away, they'll dissolve themselves. Then obviously this recoding changes. Like you said, you can change a thought process just
Hmm.
by recoding that thought. That's how
Yeah.
powerful we are.
Yeah.
And
I
I
mean, just
found it very interesting when you're saying about your right arm, that
right.
even the motion that you were doing, where you were like moving it up and then bringing it back, it's that let go. No, we're not ready to let go yet. Or,
Right.
we're not, that kind of, that's how I see it. Our hands are obviously what hold that part of us.
Mm.
So it's that energetic bit. So it's that holding on. So yeah, emotionally, even something to witness there that the body may have been saying. So
It was. I
yes.
mean, and some of it
Yeah.
was like dislodging, and I didn't
Hmm.
get like, I'm not, everybody's different. Everybody has their
Absolutely.
own strengths and, well, perceived strengths and weaknesses. 'Cause like you said, everybody's an alchemist, and,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
like, I know that what kind of the story of what happened. Yeah. On the human level, you know, I had a fall. There's more
Yes.
to it, but I don't want to go into it. But
Yeah, sure.
but the real thing was that I needed to jolt my body. I
Hmm.
needed to jolt the right side of my masculine side
Hmm.
because some things needed to be dislodged. You know,
Yeah.
this is what
Hmm.
my body told me. This is what my
Yes.
body told me. My body told me this needs to be, and then
Hmm.
there's a couple of other places in my body where that's happened too. That,
Mm.
over time, I'm like, okay, what is going on here? Well, stop looking at it and stop trying to treat it, through Western medicine, or not that I do that, but but
Yeah.
just plug into it and let it tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
the difference I see now, and because you got to remember, like most of the shows I've done have been with people that would be you would call energy workers, practitioners, right?
Yeah.
And I, what I see different now is that the result, well, first of all, processes have either been dropped or they've been remixed and modified. Okay. And the results are more permanent. The results are less of a, not a one off. Well, it's more of a one off. Yeah. It's more of a one off as opposed to something that shows itself up again, later on down the line. Kind of like, okay, I identify the program, but I didn't take care of the pattern. So there's
Yes.
something happening
Hmm.
with the exchange of code that two or more people have, or even somebody within themselves, I guess, where the
Hmm.
information where it's sticking now.
Yeah.
It's not fading away. It's not just being sustained, it's expanding. It's like
Yeah.
momentum. Just as the inverted matrix or the duality is dissipating,
Yeah.
the inverse is happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we were saying earlier, like the left, the feminine side coming back in and
Hmm.
getting stronger,
Hmm.
uh, where the other one was too much and the other one was too little, and now they're taking their proper place.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary for this to be occurring worldwide because it certainly seems that it is. I mean, I don't think there's any question. I really don't.
No, no, I can't think of a single person who I interact with that isn't feeling something somewhere on where they're at on their path.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an um yeah, whether that's just people in my day-to-day life or whether that's people just interactions, or maybe I'm just very conscious of drawing that in. But it's yeah, it's very, very fascinating. And it has been, I was just thinking then about like codes and that whole everything stays in a loop, doesn't it? Until you,
Yeah.
even though it's not a full circle, everything is always a spiral, obviously.
Right.
But I believe everything is always a spiral. So you come back round, but a different version of it. But I feel like we're not now. I feel like we're literally dissolving it. It's like we're done with this,
Right.
we're done with this version of you. So let's shift it now. It needs to go. But I need you to go there and witness it to be able to shift it.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's why I think a lot of shadow work is coming up, as people call it, or witnessing stuff. I've never I suppose I am love and light, absolutely, and I'm very heart led. But I've always been someone who has welcomed the dark,
Me
the
too.
shadow work
Me too.
to
Yeah, we were
absolutely,
absolutely.
abs absolutely. I've always been someone who's appreciated the magic that's in that space,
Well, that's where we
and what
come
it can
from.
create.
That's where that,
Absolutely, yeah,
you know what I mean? I
yeah,
mean, that's what the
absolutely.
mother told me. I mean, that's the holy darkness. That's the womb. That's where we end up before we birth
Beautiful,
something
yeah,
new, right? I mean,
yes,
but that's
yeah,
been painted in such a pious, judgmental,
yeah,
condemning kind of way, just like the sacred sexual power, or
yeah.
the sacral root chakral centers. Our creative power, our
Mm,
sexual power. I mean,
yeah,
look at that. That's probably the best example.
yeah,
What has been distorted the
mm,
most only would only make sense is is because it was designed to keep you to distance you from that. I mean, think
Yeah,
about that.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure you've experienced that in your self work and so on. But
yeah,
yeah, you know that when you have, I mean, like sometimes this last couple of weeks, I'm walking around and my entire body feels like it's my sacral chakra. Like it's just like everything's just
yeah.
going, brrr, you know, and the creativity, you know what I mean? Or you'll
Yeah,
connect with somebody even by a
yeah.
message or do a show, and all of a sudden you're going, oh my God,
Mm,
you know, what's going on
mm,
here?
yeah,
You know what I mean? And so instead of it becoming, uh, oh, I got to do something with this, you know, like in the old
yeah,
paradigm, like, you know, or he means this or she means that, so I got to do that. No, it becomes more of our natural nature. It's
yeah.
like you're a little bit lit all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and the body as the body sensations, it's constantly moving, constantly. I went through quite a bit of a stage quite a few months ago where it was just bouncing around my body so much there was quite a bit of pain.
Oh,
And I was like, okay, I need to ground this because this is a bit, and I was like, just give me 5 minutes, please. We can do, just let me have a few days, please. Um, of asking, please let this body just stop for a moment. And I actually had a point last week where I don't get ill. I haven't got ill for a long time. I've always been someone that's been very lucky with that. I don't get ill. So, but the other day I had last week my back froze me that I literally could not move and I was stood screaming with pain.
wow.
And it was in my lower, yeah, it was in my root, my lower,
Yeah.
I see it as my dragon tail, talking to
Yes.
me.
There's a lot of that going
Absolutely.
on too. I'll say
Yes.
that. There is.
And I was like, but gosh, the weavings that came with it, one who I reached out to, the permission I asked for, like, I don't need to explain this, just please be there for me, really gave myself this sovereign power of standing in what was coming through. Um, and understanding that, what this rising was that was coming through my body. So, and who I reached out to help me understand it and be vulnerable within that space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And afterwards, and to see why did I need to be still for 3 days, and allow that because I'm such a mover.
Yeah.
So it was such beautiful medicine, the whole thing. Whereas before I would have beaten myself up about it. I would have been
Yeah.
angry at the situation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to have called the people that I needed to for help. And,
You're just lucky. You're lucky that your
oh,
soul didn't, require like an ambulance trip because you were too stubborn to listen. But you said something that's really big. Okay, I think is really
yeah,
big, and I think has
yeah,
always been a part of this show. As we've
mhm,
evolved over the whatever it's been, 8 years, um,
yeah,
and that's this vulnerability thing, right?
oh,
People
yeah,
use the word authenticity,
mm-hmm,
but well, I think that's applicable, but there's something about the vulnerability thing, and
yeah,
so because of the conditioning that we've had, the programming we've
mm,
had, we've been built as we were, you know, as we were, growing up as young children, as infants, and we're starting to get pulled into the program, right?
yes, yeah,
We were built to shut down, to put up walls,
mm, mm-hmm,
because our vulnerability was brought upon us embarrassment and shame and
yeah,
blame. So we
yeah,
became guarded and distrustful. So there's like when you're telling your story, we have these
mm,
moments on the show too sometimes, and it's so powerful in the field. It's like a pulsation goes out
mm,
because somebody is dropping their guard and
yeah,
they're revealing themselves and putting themselves in the most vulnerable position to be seen in the spotlight, you might say, even if it's just two people talking and nobody's watching.
yeah,
And that's a powerful thing. That's a powerful
Beautiful.
thing. That's like, that is authenticity. And then from
Exactly.
there becomes transparency, I think. I feel like that's
Mm,
where we're heading. I feel like that's why there's not going to be any lies, because everybody's essentially, just to use that connotation, will be able to read the field, read each other's minds, whatever you want to call it.
yes.
So there
Yeah.
is no place to go. And I think that's
Yeah.
what's happening with us now. Like
Yeah.
we're having this
There's
happen internally with our, say Big Todd and Little Todd are talking, and
mm, yeah.
and Big Todd's going, there's nowhere else to run now, pal. You can't
Yeah.
bullshit the universe. You know what I mean?
No.
You
No.
can't,
People
you,
can see through, seeing through it
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they
And
can see
there's
the
no
truth.
hiding. There's no
Yeah. There's no,
hiding.
that's
Yeah.
it. There's no hiding. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the same recipe for the religious institutions, governmental institutions, me, you, and everyone and everything else. It's the same recipe. Everybody's being brought down to an even playing field. Everybody's
Yeah.
being brought down to their seat in the
Yeah.
round table, because
Hmm.
there is no head of
Yeah.
the table.
No.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what are your plans for the rest of the year? Are you just traveling around and doing your thing
Okay.
and being of service to people and just merging with
Mm.
nature, universal energy every day, just doing your thing, huh?
Absolutely. As I mentioned to you, whilst I think we were off camera, I work with the medicine of Mama Cacao. So I I hear where I hear how she speaks to me. Where does she want me to go? What's next? And when I sit with her in ceremony, um, if she doesn't have my answers, because sometimes she says, "You already know this." So sometimes she tells me I need to go alone for a while, and that's when I come and do the integration, obviously, with her. And I'm just gonna go with my flow. Literally, the beauty of being in the van, is that as I go around, I don't know what I'm getting each day. It's like a new space or a new portal, as I see it, has just been
Mm.
created and opened for me. I meet new people, I learn new things about myself, as well as others. The people that I'm interacting with, well, I'm like, wow, it's just for me, this is a really, at the moment, I don't know how long this will last, but for me, this is a space that feels so potent for my journey to just be navigating and creating. I've created this space so I can sit with myself and hear what's next,
Mm.
but in this
Mm.
moment.
Mm.
So for me, I do hold space. I'm just about to create a sacred community, that
Mm.
once a month where we come together. This is a physical space. So I will be journeying to somewhere, every month to hold that space. I really feel that community and people being seen and witnessed is this is why I think it's beautiful what you're doing. It really resonates with me because I feel that people just want to be seen or heard or understood for who they are and what they're going through. And that's powerful medicine right
Yeah,
there.
that's it right there.
Um,
I mean, that's really,
the storytelling,
yeah,
we go back
yes.
to ancestors. It's all about the storytelling and what we create and how we
Well,
get there. And that's beautiful. That's
it
heart.
that's a really good description. I mean, because
Yeah.
like, and you're right. That's like I mean, we've had famous people, like on the show. Like I say, famous people, like David Icke, kind of, like, but
Yeah.
it's us.
The
You know what I
raw.
mean? You know what I mean? It's us. I'm just saying
Yeah. Yeah.
it's everyone. It's
Yes.
it's not the one with all the views or the one with the big communities. It's us. And you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the sharing of their higher sensitivities and their skills or
Mm-hmm.
their past life connections or their galactic
No.
connections or elemental or whatever. It's not. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a part of it. But the real part of it, the nuts and bolts, the guts, the blood and
Yeah.
bones
Yeah.
is the human condition that's being alchemized because it's being seen now.
Yeah.
See, it's
Yeah.
being seen. We used to think we
Mm.
were the redheaded stepchild of the universal family, and now we understand that we're on point.
Yeah.
We're on point. We're
Yeah.
actually through our efforts every day, the choices that we make, the way we treat
Hmm.
people, the way
Yes.
we look at things. This is having
Mm.
uh, this is having infinite repercussions through all timelines and dimensions. We're not just healing rifts with a family member or
No.
an old friend. We're healing rifts of Orion and Lyran, of the
Mm.
Anunnaki
Mm.
Pleiadian, of the,
Mm.
this
Beautiful.
is, this is the whole thing
Mm.
centered right here on ground zero. We're the boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
and
I love
it's,
that.
it's,
I've
it,
had
it,
many, that's what I've always had, this knowing that I've had like relationships with people that have been, angels light, and very much they know a lot, as I would say. They know so much about the stars, and that they have a lot of information of all that. And this is it. This is now why I go, I've always been, there's something, I've been saying it for years, there's something about me doing the work on earth. There's something, there's a reason why half of this doesn't stick within my little wiring.
right.
So, and now I get it, because even though all that does hold a purpose, and I've started, I've educated myself with things that resonate with my soul, um and people I work with. But you're right, the work is here. It's
Hmm.
it's here. It's about as simple as who you are as you stand within your moments, and the decisions you make, and what you create every single moment, that choice, that second, how you treat someone, how you view someone, how you view yourself. This is where I feel this really resonates with my soul.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and now that all makes sense. Why?
Well, and
Uh,
and another thing to me that's kind of like the proof in the pudding is even if going back to the sacred text, these sayings and adages that we would have, like go within,
mm, yes.
or whatever they are, right? And
Mm.
so it was one thing to say them, but now we're doing them,
Gotta live it.
and you know what I mean. And so it's bringing on this new, because you would think, oh, I'm going to come into my awareness of my multidimensionality, which we have, right? Of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
elemental connection, angelic, whatever, right? But
beautiful.
it's coming
Mm.
into awareness of the journey that you've had. So that old saying of, you can alter the past from the present, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
And you know what I mean? So like when we actually can do that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and then you would think the way you do it is, well, like some old ritual, or some other way, some mystical way. But no, it's just a human being saying, it could be anything. It could be you picking up the phone and calling your relative that you haven't talked to in years and saying, hey, I love you.
Yeah,
I want to come see you, or anything like that. Or I was wrong. Or
yeah.
I always admired this about you, and I was jealous of it, or
Yes. Yeah,
whatever. But
yeah.
this is so powerful
Yes.
to be heard. I love what you said about people want to be seen. I believe that, and I do believe that this is what this platform is for, and I
Yeah,
believe
yeah. Beautiful.
the value of it is that human part of them. That's the value of it,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
so to do that in our own space, in our own life
yeah,
is huge. That is just like
yeah,
huge. Like Abraham Hicks says, one lit soul offsets 750,000 that aren't. I mean, we're talking
yeah.
about a human being that can run an entire planet with the energy that runs in us, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's true.
And we
It's
know that our energy is, it's connective. It's we people resonate. So for instance, I live barefoot. I made the decision a few years ago. So I completely live barefoot. And
Oh, barefoot.
the yeah, barefoot, yeah. So I live barefoot continuously,
Wow.
and have done for a few years. And basically it's I and obviously I have no hair and I have tattoos, and I just am how I am. And to me it's normal. It is normal. It's who I am. But
Mm,
the amount of people that when I pass by and they'll stop and talk and they'll be like, you really do just live as you want to, don't you?
right.
And I'm like, yeah, and you can too. It's like, they're like, it's so lovely to see.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you can do it as well. It's
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's really so just that's what we're here to do, isn't it? To just sort
Yeah.
of, as people say, way showers or just connect. And I'll see someone who has a light that is just like, wow, how do I get some of that? Because it's like, not as in like energy vampire, as people would call it, but more as in admiring them. How did
Yeah.
you create that? What did you go through to create that beautiful version as you stand that I can see within you? Because that fascinates me. That fascinates me when I see someone and I can see their light and also their shadow that's created that
Yeah.
version of them. And I was very aware that quite a few months ago, there was quite a lot of competition out there, which I think has resonated with this anger of
Yes.
people with each other. And that you mentioned jealousy.
Yeah.
I coordinate that with jealousy.
Yeah.
And I have no shame in saying to someone, I am jealous of what you've got,
Yeah.
or
Well, that's coming
envious.
from a different, that's coming from a,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that's coming from respect and inspiration. And
absolutely, absolutely. And there's this real stigma of thought or old programming out there still of jealousy's a bad thing
mm-hmm,
or anger's a bad thing, and
mm-hmm,
once we decode and understand that these are actually where we need to go to understand ourselves better.
exactly.
If I'm jealous of someone, so to speak, there's something in them that I'm obviously seeing and maybe want to have within myself.
Or don't see in
That's
yourself.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Or
Absolutely it
don't
is
see in
because,
myself. And yeah,
because,
absolutely. And that's stunning. That's the learning, isn't it? And
yeah.
that's the difference of how you, as I see it as, medicine exchange, energy
Well,
exchange. Yeah.
they're like streams of low. Well, they're signals, they're red flags. And what does
The
this all come
mirrors.
down to?
Yeah.
Our love for ourself, for lack thereof, self value, self
Yes.
respect. We cannot
Mm-hmm.
love anything outside of ourselves more than we love ourselves. This
Mm-hmm.
is we might think we can, but the
Mm-hmm.
reality is I'm looking at me. So I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing about this time and the
Mm-hmm.
type of thing that you're talking about that's happening on a personal basis with people
Yeah.
is the product of it, the outcome of it is instantaneously shareable. So in other
Yeah.
words, if I have an issue or whatever, or I move up 5 degrees, of self value and self
Yes.
love,
Yeah.
I'm immediately it's going to affect my vision as I look at you,
Yeah.
and then you brought up something else that I've noticed for myself
Mm.
in the last few weeks. And that is, you know, 99% of the time when in the past, when we would, whether we're conscious or not, or want to admit it or not, we'll look at somebody and say, well, that's not me. That's not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't do that. And now I'm looking at people like right now, right? What did I say to you as soon as I saw you? I said, oh my God, this is going to be great. You're beautiful. Look at your shining. I'm seeing myself
Thank you.
I'm seeing myself in other people, but no, I mean it. I
Yeah.
will be looking, I'm getting a tone now, but I mean, I will look at somebody and go, oh my God, I can see like a mirror. So
Yeah.
it's no longer this mirror that we would describe as, and it's true. Anyone that's been in a relationship knows. I think the best thing about a good relationship is you're going to see your own BS, right? Well, now, whether you do
Yes.
something with it or not, that's up to you. But
Yeah.
but but
Yeah.
but to see, because that's really what it's going to come down to. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that this has now become a life review in form. Like you had an out of body, right? I've had two out of bodies, and what happens? A
Yes.
lot of times you have these life reviews,
Yeah.
and you're able to
Yeah.
see the effect that you had on your playmates, on the others from your
Yeah.
thoughts, words, and actions. So it's almost
Yeah.
like we're doing it in form. So that, in other
Hmm.
words, I can't do anything I do to you, I'm doing to myself.
Yeah.
So we might as well, throw the
Yeah.
guns out and make love, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is what's happening because we won't be able to bring harm because we're going
Yeah.
to feel it, right?
Yeah.
This is crazy. I think it's the
Yeah.
greatest show the Universal has ever put together.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's amazing. And the thing that you, like you said, if you do, you do harm to others, it only ever comes back to you. And it's I've felt this when I've had some attacks about people think I'm ego, people like, oh,
Hmm.
you're coming from a place of ego. And I've had to
Hmm.
sit with that and be like, am I? What am I giving off? Or is this their stuff?
Yeah.
And I always think when I've done something like that, because that's me, I've to see it in other people, I've done it or I'm living it. So basically, when I think, okay, who do I attack? Why do I attack people? What's going on there? What
Well,
do I need to see?
mhm,
Because when people are attacking me, I need to see the medicine of where I'm attacking others,
exactly.
and what I'm causing from doing that. And do I do it anymore? Or is it that I'm just mirroring something to them that they may not want to see yet or they're not ready to? But
Well,
what
I
I
think, yeah.
notice, sorry,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
just something I'm very aware of when I know that there's something within my soul that needs to be acknowledged or dealt with for myself is as soon as my rumination kicks off, soon as my head starts going and a reoccurring thing comes about, I go, there's something here that needs to be done,
Yeah.
whether that's me to work with it alone in journaling and to delayer it in how I do with my journaling questions, or whether that's me to shift it and scream it emotionally or physically or work it out however I need to, whether I need to discuss with someone who I don't mind being vulnerable with, or whether I need to actually deal with the situation with the person. Um, but that's my one of my first telltales is if it keeps upsetting me, my coding in my mind, in my brain, um, my crown and the receiving, if it's interfering with stuff up there, there's something for me to acknowledge here. And I think some people struggle with that to change their perception of that. They'd
That's
rather
right.
just sit with the rumination or
Or,
rather than just own it and go, I messed up or I want
well,
to create differently. Let's talk about this. Let's be
yeah.
vulnerable with each other and see what we can code
But
differently. Yeah.
even like like what you're saying though, like, well, because we're so accustomed to attaching it to something outside of us, particularly a
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
or a job, or
Yeah.
something to that effect, right? And so that's
The
that
attachments.
changing
Yeah.
of perception that you're talking about. Like, because
Mhm.
I remember uh, right around the time I woke up, uh,
Mhm.
and of course, you know how it is for many of us was total, like, psych wards, jail. I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
you're crazy. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so, and then that part of you, the soul, knows that you're not. And
Hmm.
and I remember one day driving down the road with a friend of mine, and I said, "Let me ask you
Hmm.
something. Tell me the truth." I said, "Do you think I'm crazy?"
Yeah.
And they said, "No." And the reason you're
Oh,
not is because you're asking. See,
yes.
I feel like that openness. This is like the
Yeah.
wounded healer thing. Like,
Yes.
we're all wounded healers. If you look at that old archetype, it's, I need to go help these people because subconsciously or unconsciously, I need to build my value. I need to
Yeah.
get that fix, right? When the
Yes. Yeah.
reality is like,
Yeah.
my soul told me when because my first 2 years of my wake up, I went homeless, technically,
Yeah.
by my choice though. That was my
Hmm.
choice. My soul said, "You're going to go live on the streets." I'm like, "Oh, great. This will be fun."
Yeah.
But what it said to me
Let's
was,
see what's here.
well, it said to me, you know, fix yourself, put yourself in the
Mm.
best possible spiritual health. That's the best thing you can do for your children, for your friends, for your
Wow.
family, for the world, right? And
Yeah.
so I feel
Wow.
like that's kind of the place that we're all headed, where we're yeah, we stay in our own lane, we're accountable for ourselves, and then the interactions take care of themselves, and like begets
Yes.
like. And that neighborhood is painted orange, and that neighborhood's red, and that neighborhood's green. And sometimes we mix in
Mm.
the neighborhoods, but we
Yes.
kind of have to if we're starting with ourselves, then the next thing outside of our circle is going to be our closest soul connections. And
Yeah.
then, like concentric circles, you're going to go a little wider and you go a little wider. But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the pattern that's occurring. And it's not just in one place. I mean, it's all over the world. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's not in the mainstream, and you're not going to get real numbers about it. But I don't think we have to now. I think this above telepathy is moving so quickly that
Yeah.
I mean, I'm experiencing it more and more every day. I
Yeah.
really am. It's becoming unarguable. It's
Yeah.
just so obvious. And I don't know about you, but I would imagine that, this time in your life, uh, you know, everything keeps expanding. It
Yeah.
doesn't go backwards. You know what I
No,
mean? It's not
no,
going
no.
backwards.
No, there's no going backwards. Not that I'm feeling. I'm feeling that everything is a step towards a better version,
Yes. Yeah.
new creation,
Yeah.
new version, however you want to word it. Yeah, I really do believe that every time I'm seeing, I suppose I've been lucky. I'm a bit like you. I went through when the psych ward, let's just say.
Mm.
I'll use your words. So it's kind of when I went through that time, I was very blessed because I have a beautiful contract. My sister is, I'm very blessed to have my sister as my soul contract by my side to keep me grounded when I have gone into places of what is this? And she has always said to me, there's just something special and different about you.
Yeah.
She's known, she was
Yeah.
put by my side to hold that space to reassure me because I needed that at the time,
Yeah.
in the spaces that I couldn't see it in myself. I was blessed with her to be there for that mirror of
Yeah.
what I see in her. And
Yeah.
we're very blessed to have each other. And I'm very lucky that I have people around me that I've always been able to go to and be vulnerable with,
Yeah.
and receive that
That's a
vulnerability.
tremendous gift. That's a
Oh,
tremendous gift.
it's been a blessing. Yeah, it has been because I'm very aware. As I've gone around now and met people out in the community and stuff, a lot of people feel very alone on this journey, and I'm
Absolutely.
like, what? So you don't have like 10 people around you that, or 5 people maybe, that
Come
you
on.
can really call on
You
if you
know,
have something you don't understand? And they're
yeah.
like, no. And I'm like,
No.
wow. And
And then if
gosh,
you
I
look
didn't.
at, I put a little post up the other day and I said, it's not about masculine and feminine anymore. It's about the soul. Because I'm
Yeah,
tired of
that's
hearing all this. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing
Mhm.
one side talking shit about the other side, or
Uh, all
these.
has a
But anyway,
place.
I don't want to get off
Yeah.
on a tangent. It's all working out. Let me put it that way. But I
Yeah.
believe, because you would see, and then yeah, look, the feminine has led the way. I mean, the feminine Soulogy started in 2012 was 95% was women, okay, and now it's probably 75, right, 72%, which is great. You can see the trend coming. It makes sense, right? But there was always a
Mhm.
lot of talk about, hurry up, guys, what's wrong with you? And almost to the point of anger. And there was some anger and this and that. And I'm not throwing shade on anybody. I just want to make a point. But
Yeah.
the hold up there, in my opinion, was the masculine energy in all of us, which predominantly showed up in the male form, had
Mhm.
nowhere to go with this. I used to say, years ago, if you get a woman and she's going to go to the athletic club and work out, right? Even if she's never been before. And she
Mhm.
goes into the locker room and there's 10 women in there, getting dressed and whatever. And she says, I have a problem. the majority of those 10 women are going to gather around her and say, let us hear what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine a man walking into a locker room of men he
Mm,
doesn't know and saying, I'm having a problem in my life.
mm,
I'm
mm-hmm.
having a crisis.
Mm,
They would laugh at him.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So there is something to be said for holding space,
Yes.
for listening.
Yeah.
And like you said at the beginning of the show, in one of your personal interactions, it's a two-way street. You actually
Absolutely.
gain in an equilibrium.
Always.
And
I
it's not always verbalized, right?
No. No. I've been holding a space called Man Cave for men
Mm,
only. And I and people have asked me, well, how can you hold it if you're, you're not a man? Um, so, but because of the space that I'm already in, where I have men that we have both have a respectful relationship because of the martial arts kickboxing that I teach. So because of that, they have allowed themselves the
right,
space to go, well, I trust her this way.
right.
I'm going to try this way too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just come along, and start off with things like sound journeys and energy movement. And then obviously then they start talking and they start creating a space for each other in that community of permission. And gosh, they are just all in the same space of
Yeah.
I want to open up, I
That's
want to be
beautiful.
seen, but I
Yeah.
don't know how to. And then they're bringing themselves there and just I say thank yourself for doing this. It's
Yeah.
stunning. And these spaces, and I've got a mixture of people. I've had people come to this that I never would have thought would even turn up. And I'm
Yeah.
like, go you, go you. That's real, that's some deep, then the spirit team start turning up and then they freak out a little bit, but we talk about that afterwards. So it's
Well,
like, what's
I
that?
know some groups. I did a couple. I did it for about a month. I did
Mm,
a weekly or bi-weekly, I can't remember. And
mm,
I had to pull away from it. This was in, I don't know when it was. I think it was
mm,
January of this year. I don't know. But anyway, it was not, it was in the last year. And I had to pull away from it. And then I knew
yeah,
some other brothers that were doing it, and I kind of popped in on those. And the one thing I found was, and the reason I realized I couldn't do it at the time, it wasn't the right time
yeah,
because it's such a radical paradigm shift for
yeah,
I want to say for the masculine in us that is imprinted by this narcissistic realm, this patriarchal realm, where he was
mm,
blamed. By the way, he was the soldier that carried out all the duties,
mm,
right? And to radically go the other way and go all the way to the soft side it was unauthentic to me
mm,
because there is a power that the masculine energy has in all of us that doesn't fuck
mm,
around, that is virtuous and integrous,
yeah,
and purely
yeah,
intended and purely in service of her, the
yeah,
mother, the mother, the partner, the daughter, the feminine.
yeah,
And that's what and I guess maybe that was my own personal observations and my personal part of my personal evolution because I said I'm not losing this fire. No, this
yeah,
fire is coming with me. It's not distorted. It's
yeah,
not coming from the conditioning of the realm.
no,
So I think that's and the other reason I really like what you're talking about is because I feel this way.
yeah,
As I was assessing myself and not in judgment, not in comparison or anything, I would
mm-hmm,
say to myself, and I might have said it once or twice out loud, that I'm comfortable with the fact that I'm as in touch with my feminine as many women are. Okay, so now I
beautiful,
can take this from you and
thank
listen to
you,
you and
yeah,
understand that
yeah,
yes, you can hold this space for these men because you're in a good space with your own masculine energy. Now,
yes,
this is the way I've always looked at this, and this is why I get frustrated
yeah,
over the years, is because
mm,
somebody would say, I'm a divine masculine or I'm a divine feminine.
mm-hmm,
Yet you can see in their projections and their expressions that they're not. because
Yeah.
they're speaking disparagingly of the other gender, or because of, you can see their prejudice and bias.
Yeah.
If you're in alignment with your divine masculine, then you're in alignment with your divine feminine. They
Yeah.
meet in the middle. But if
Yeah.
one's a little bit off, then guess what? The other one's a little bit off. So
Yeah.
these are the type of truths that I think are really getting drilled down in the star seed and light worker circles.
Yes.
We're having to eat the biggest pieces of humble pie now because we're on the front end of this tsunami, and it is time to walk the talk or shut the fuck up. I'm sorry to use that language, but you know what? That's how my soul talks to me, and that's how I talk to my soul, and we do
Mm-hmm.
it with love. But my point
Mm-hmm.
is, it's game time now,
Yeah.
and these petty, like you were talking about, the jealousies and the envies and this
The
petty.
competition,
Yeah,
for
you know
sure.
what?
That
Like,
is.
like get over yourself, because that's really
Yeah.
what this trip's all about. We believe
Yeah.
that. I'll use me as an example. We believe that Todd is the end all cure all. That this is it. And that's not it. Like the saying
Mhm.
says, just get out of the way and let the
Yeah.
soul come through. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's happening with people. And maybe that's why we're starting to look at each other and see
Yeah.
each other in the
Yeah.
light, as opposed
Yeah.
to the things that we have refused to see in ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also believe that we have done a tremendous amount of work, and we haven't given ourselves credit because we haven't taken a breath to look at that. And I believe
Yeah.
those are the memories that are going to serve us the strongest. Is when we say, "Wow, look what we did! Wow,"
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And when you were saying about the healed divine and the healed feminine, masculine and feminine, I was thinking then why, I thought why when someone said to me, how can you hold man cave, when you're a woman? And how does it work? And I actually sat with that for a while and realized how at the time they were helping me heal my masculine as well,
Yeah,
because they were showing me what masculine, what true masculine men
yeah,
in their feminine also balanced are capable of, because I hadn't witnessed that before.
yeah.
Some of my relationships, or because I haven't been open to it. So if I
Right.
haven't been open to it, I haven't seen it maybe in the relationships I've been drawing forwards. So
Welcome to the
it's
party. I mean, this,
yeah,
and like you said, I mean, they were helping
yeah,
you with your but if your
absolutely.
masculine is coming into more alignment, that means your feminine is coming into more alignment. There's a direct
Yeah,
relationship there. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
and 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 so that's the bottom line. If one's coming down a little bit and one's going up, it doesn't even matter, because the bottom line is, as a tandem, as a team, they're coming into more
that's
and more
correct.
alignment. So
Yeah, beautiful.
this is powerful. This has been a powerful hour and a half. We
Has
have
it
to
been
do
an
this.
hour and a half?
I
Wow.
know. That's what I love about this show, because like you look up and go, my God, how did we talk for 90 minutes? And I
Wow.
would stay longer, or try to get you to stay longer, but I got to do two more shows today. And,
Oh, okay, yes.
but,
Until next time,
I,
let's say.
yeah, I think we should do something again next time too. I do. Now, let me ask you this.
Absolutely.
Where can people, well, let me ask you this first. Do you
Yeah.
do any distance work with people?
Yes, I do work Zooming, so I do
Okay.
one-to-ones. All is on my website.
What's
So
the name of
if
your,
people,
what's the name
it's
of
my
your,
name, so www.karen/maine.com.
okay.
So yeah, if people, or if you go onto my Facebook or my Instagram,
Your links are there.
then my website links are there. Yes.
Okay. So
So
I'm going to put it up here. I just put mine up, but I'm going to put yours up here. I'll put it up here in
thank
a second,
you.
and I'll put it on YouTube and X.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah,
thank
we
you.
should do this again in a couple of months. I think it'd
Oh,
be interesting to
love
see,
to.
because there's a lot of stuff we didn't even get into it, but there's a lot of
Oh,
stuff going on in Europe and England right now. And my
yes.
experience doing this show and touching base with people around the world, especially in the COVID years, was what we were hearing, what we were seeing, even on the internet, and what the people were telling us were two different things. And
Mm,
then also just to kind of get a pulse of what's going on in the collective out there, right?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to do this again. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing space with all of us and honoring us
Uh,
with your
Thank
presence.
you. Can I say something, Todd?
Absolutely. Say whatever you
I
want to
would
say.
like to say thank you so much for allowing me to be here and have this moment to just hear you and be part of what you're creating, because it's magic what you're bringing. So
Mm,
keep doing, please, because it's
mm.
just so heartwarming to see. And as I say, every time I connect with men like yourself that are doing this, it really heals my masculine side.
Wow.
So thank you for holding that space for me. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Much
Absolutely. I
appreciated.
look forward to seeing
Yeah.
you again. But you know,
Yeah.
as we know, we have to can't attach to anything. So I'll say it like this: I hope to see you on this side, the other
Yeah.
side, or both.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm about to well, I'll go to sleep soon, but I will go off to dream, and then I'm hitting some woods tomorrow. So
Right on. All right.
yeah.
Well, you take care. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.